Hi all, welcome to John's Model Making. As you can see, I've got Herbert in the house. He's going to be keeping an eye on us today because he's only got one. We've got stages 75 to 78 of the Time War Dalek. Excellent stuff. Yeah, we got more of these uprights to pop in place. 4 of actually. And in stage 79, I think we get 2 more. Yes, we do, but one is shorter than the other one. Nearly done with them anyway, and then we can get on to putting the gold discs in place, can't we? Yeah, bubbles or whatever we call them. But it's going to look great, this, yeah. It's going to look fantastic with the remote control. I don't know how we're going to power it up, mind you. Other builds I've had, I've got a lithium battery and we just recharge it, and it usually lasts quite a while actually. But whether we get one for this or not, I do not know. But anyway, without further ado, let's get on with the build. Okay, here we have stage 75. Let's have a look at the magazine. Here we go. There's a step-by-step build in the parts, which we know all about. And in the comics, oh sorry, the magazine, The Magician's Apprentice. Yeah, I'm a big kid, that's why I keep calling it in comics. There we have Missy, fantastic character. She was brilliant. Peter Capaldi, of course. Yeah, cracking Doctor. Davros Part 7, there's Colin Baker. And in the parts, base section, internal support structure. And we have the parts, 75A side support along with 75B, 75C, D, E and F as skirt fixing parts, 75G is side support top joint, 75H is skirt fixing part along with I, J and K, and 75L is side support top joint, and then we have nuts and bolts and PP screws. Now this will be the same for all 4 stages that we're doing today. Look at that, yes. The only difference is where you position it. Excellent. That's the mag, that's the parts. Let's get on with the build. Okay, let's get the parts out. There we go, those are parts, C1, C2, they're all C1, they're all C2. Put them to one side along with the support. There we go, we got nuts and bolts, PP screws, excellent. That one says C1 as well, brill. Okay, now let's pop all these into place. C1 goes at the top here, and you know this is the top because it says C1 there. C2 here, or C1 1-2 I should say. And this is C1 1-3. Go on, get in there, boy. And here we have 1-4. There we go. Right, flip this over. There we go, and we need 4 PP screws. There we go, cool. Yeah, make sure the writing you can see like that. It's not upside down at least. Right, now we can put this inside. I should say on top there, just like that. Again, we'll need another PP screw. This has C1 on top because obviously that's the position it will go when we bring his mate over. There we go. Just like so. Right, now that is in place. We will do the other one now because I'm not bringing up the Dalek. 2 separate occasions. Right, let's see, we want C2 2-1 just here, we want 2-2 just there, 2-3, 2-4, flip that over and we get more screws in place. There we go, some little beauties in place, and obviously this piece will go here like so. There's a C2 on it, of course. There we go, brilliant, excellent. Right, we'll get these on the Dalek. Okay, doke. Right, now we need C1, which is C1 on here. We put that behind there at the bottom. Get over it. There we go, just like previous. And just slot it in at the top. There we go. Got a nut and bolt here and 2 PP screws on the top. There we go. 1 nut and bolt. There we go. Brilliant. That's C1 in place. I'll flip it around for C2. Okay, now we have C2. Exactly the same as C1. That's it. The opposite. Pop that on the top there. get it located down, and then we can pop in a couple of PP screws. Here we go. Brilliant. And one nut and bolt. Let's see. That goes there. Get that through there. Let's flip this round actually. Okay, now here we have the nut and bolt. Pop that through there, and then get the nut on the end. Just spin it round until you know it's threaded a little bit, and then we get the screwdriver. There we go. Excellent. That's C2 in place. Brilliant stuff. There we go. There's C2. And around here we have C1. Brilliant. That's stage 75. Let's move on to stage 76. Okay, look, stage 76. Let's have a look at the magazine. Ooh, we have the Day of Reckoning. The attack on the Saucer fails and the Doctor and the Rebels must flee London. Yeah, back in the days of the 60s, of course. Yeah, black and white. Enemies of the Daleks, humans, of course. And base section, internal support structure, components of issue 76. 76A is side support, and so is B. 76E is 8 skirt fixing parts. 76D, side support top joint. 76E, side support top joint. So you have top joint D2 and E2, nuts and bolts, and PP screws. Just same as previous, just in different positions. There we go. And coming in 77, exactly the same. There we go, there's the parts, 76, there we go, 76, excellent. Let's get on with the build. Okay, let's get the parts out. There we go, those are the parts. So all of these, not them two, these 8 all have DEG on, so it doesn't matter which one you put on where, because these will be for the straight parts of the skirt. Right, we'll do E2 second, we'll do D2 first, and let's pop these into place for these supports, and then we'll get the PP screws out and screw them all together. There we go, just make sure the routing is the right way up. I don't know whether it makes a difference with these or not, but just habits. That's all it is habits. There we go, get the screws out. There we go, that's them 4 in place. And then we have this piece, it's D2. Yeah, pop that onto there. 1 PP screw. There we go, that's that piece in place. Right, E2. Same with these. Flip that over. Pop DEG in place. There we go. And 4 PP screws. There we go. And this piece has E2 on it, so that will go just there. There we go, excellent. Right, let's get Herbert's house back. Okay, now first one we need is D2, which will go here. There we go. Pop in just like that. Right, we need a couple of PP screws. Okay, there we go. And on the bottom, let's see if I get a better shot. Okay, let's get the nut and bolt in here. Slip it all the way through. Yep. Get the nut on the other end. There we go, excellent. It self-tightens at the end. Right, let's get the other structure in place. Okay, now we have E2, which will go just here. Same as all the others. Just slip it down. There we go. 1, 2 PP screws. There, excellent. Okay, let's get the nut and bolts in place. There we go. There's the nuts and the screw away. There we go. Excellent. There we go. There's them 2 pieces. Excellent. Let's move on to stage 77. Okay, now stage 77. Let's have a look at the magazine. The Curse of Davros. Yes, Colin Baker, of course. Ooh, look at that. That looks weird. Ooh, nice coloured Dalek though. I like that one. No posters up to now. The Curse of Fatal Death. Yeah, I bet it is. And the base section, internal support structure, components of issue 77, 77A, side support D1, then we have side support E1, and then we have 8 skirt fixing parts, DG, and side support top joint labelled D1, and side support top joint labelled E1, nuts, bolts, PP screws. So we are doing exactly what I thought. The other side. Brilliant, there we go, completed work. You know what we're doing? Let's get on with the build, because those are the parts. So let's flip that over and get the parts out. Okay, those are the parts. D1, E1, DG, D1, E1. Right, let's pop these into place. We'll do D1 first. Flip that around. Right, get these into place just here. There we go. Snap it down. Get in there, boy. And here again. And here again. There we go. Lift that over. 4 PP screws. There we go. Right, we just want D1, don't we? So that one up to the wrong way around, Johnny boy. That will go there. One more PP screw. Brilliant. Put that to one side. Let's do E1. Same again. Right at the top, E1. And these 4 into place with the writing at the top. Brilliant. Right, now we're on E1. So E1 will go there, like so. 1 PP screw. Okie dokie. That's them two. Let's get them onto Herbert's house. Okay, now let's pop D1 in place. Just here. There we go. Oh, that went nice. 2 PP screws at the top. Brilliant. And now we want nut and bolt. Brilliant. Right, let's pop the other one in place. Okay, now we have E1, which will fit just there, like so. Bring that into place. There we go. We need a couple of PP screws. There we go. And a nut and bolt for the bottom. There we go, brilliant. So tightens, fantastic. So there we go, that's them two in place. That's that stage completed. Right, let's move on to stage 78. Okie doke, stage 78, the last for this month. Yes, we have more of the uprights, brilliant. Yeah, there is the Doctor and his friends are forced to land on a dangerous penal colony world. Yeah, looks a bit unshaven. Brilliant 1960s stuff though. And here we have the War Doctor versus the Daleks. Part 2 it looks like, yeah. John Hertz. Looking pretty young there as well. And base section internal support structure. 78A side support labelled F1. Then we have side support labelled F2. Then skip fixing part F1, 1-1, 1-2, 1-3, 1-4. Then 78G side support top joint labelled F1. Then 78H. Skirt fixing part labelled F2, 2-1, then 2-2, 2-3 and 2-4. 78L side support top joint labelled F2. Then we have nuts and bolts and PP screws. Excellent, right. There we go, so pop them into place. There we go, look at that, perfect. And coming in issue 79, I think this will be the last two. Continuing the internal support structure in the base, issue 79 includes further side supports, joint skirt fixings and a circuit board switch holder. Excellent, so something different, brilliant. those are the parts. Let's get on with the build. Okay, let's get the pot up. There we go, those are the parts. All these are F1, these are F2. So we'll do F1 first. Okay, let's pop these into place. F1 1-1, 1-2, 1-3, and lastly 1-4. Flip them over, PP screws, 4 of. There we go, now we want F1. There we go, just there. And 1 PP screw. Look at that, perfectum. Right, let's do F2. Right, F2 2-1. 2-2. So 2-3 and 2-4. 4 PP screws. Brilliant. Right, we don't that piece there like so. Flip it over. There we go. Right, let's get them onto Herbert's house. Okay, now let's get F1 into this position here. There we go, excellent. Couple of PP screws. There we go. Okay, now we need the nut and bolt just here. Excellent, that's F1 in place. Okay, look, let's get F2 in place. This will go just here. Get the top in first, of course. There we go. Seems quite long that actually. There we go. Brilliant. Right, 2 PP screws. Excellent. Now we need nut and bolt at the bottom now. Okay, don't want nut and bolt. Get that through there. Excellent. There we go. That's the last of the internal structures in place. Brilliant. There we go, folks. That's stages 75 to 78. Just like that. Oops, nearly knocked Herbert off. There we go. It's getting big though now, isn't it? Yep. And Herbert did keep his eye on you. There we go. There's Herbert. Brilliant. Looking fantastic. Yeah, that looks brilliant. That, yeah, a lot of screwing today, you know. But yeah, it's going to look brilliant. This can't wait to get the remote control. I don't know how long it is before we finish it. But we're on 78, 140, so another what, 62 issues, stages to go. Ooh, yeah, 4 a month. What's that? 10. Yeah, oh yeah, 15 month. Yeah, 15 month. Wow. Do you think it'd take that long? But anyway, is that right? Yeah. 62, 4 a month, 40, 22 life. Yeah, 15 and a half month, 16 month. By heck. Yeah, there's a lot to do in that time. Brilliant stuff. But it'll look fantastic. Excellent. There we go. I hope you did enjoy that. I did. It's quite a bit of fun actually. And Herbert, yeah, watching over me all the time. Yeah, he told me I'm a good human anyway. Anyway, thanks for tuning in and watching. Stay safe. Bye for now.